Victoria-Sinitsina, Nikita KATSALAPOV.
They take the ice with an air of confidence that is rare, and they should. They enter this Olympic season and are now competing in it as the reigning world champions. Victoria-Sinitsina, Nikita KATSALAPOV from Russia, the leaders after the rhythm dance.
What I really appreciate about these two skating to this music from Rachmaninoff is that it really asks for some level of delicacy in the way they use their movements, but their skating is always powerful with a certain intensity. And so it's sort of the best of both worlds, and oh, just a stumble right there out of the exit of that lift.
Kenneth, you know how much they wanted to have that moment, and people are on their feet in this arena, but that one stumble, maybe taking something away?
Oh, absolutely. In this competition, it's not going to take anything away from their ability to grab the gold, no doubt. And, you know, Nikita has talked about how important this rink is. He competed in Sochi with his last partner, Yelena Jelinek. And so There's a lot of memories here. There's a lot of pressure to make magic once again on this ice. And mistakes do creep up, whether that's because of the effort or just the anxiety of the moment and wanting to perform up to this ever-important stage. I think these two, still big picture-wise, delivering the most important part of this performance, which is just the emotional energy. And you know, when they're going up against the teams they'll be facing for podium spots at the Olympic Games, they need to bring all of that intensity and not hold back. So a little mistake here is perfectly fine in the big picture.
He called this a holy place to him. The Iceberg Palace, the Olympics 2014, and now with Victoria, one of the favorites for the gold medal at the Olympics in Beijing.
And you know, as an athlete in that moment they're leaving the ice, their minds are just on that little mistake. But there was 3 minutes and 55 seconds or so of really beautiful skating outside of that one little spot. They earned high levels of difficulty on all of their elements. Even that lift where they stumbled, it would have been in the grade of execution where they would have lost some of those points just on the judge's evaluation, not on that necessarily the technical level. And so not a huge loss of points. And most importantly as well, they recovered so well. This program, of course, the Rachmaninoff portion of it being just so lovely, just right there, a little off the center as he was setting her down. In fact, thankfully, he ensured that she was stable at the expense of his own balance, and so in doing so avoided a bigger disaster, because if he had tried to recapture his balance sooner, she may have gone down. And so I think that was a wise move there and just an experienced move on his part.
Sinicina, Kacalapov, along with Papadakis and Cizeron from France. The two teams right now, you'd have to say, the favorites for the gold medal at the Olympics. Several others, though, including the American teams. Hubble and Donahue, Chalk and Bates right there in the mix. Guignard, Fabry, who just have watched this week and throughout the Grand Prix, be awfully impressive in this moment in time. So important, too, in an Olympic season.
This number is not going to, of course, reach their personal best by a long shot, and not their season's best either with that mistake, but something to keep an eye on now as we're seeing the numbers calculated on our technical scoring screen, is that it looks like there's 2 deductions coming in for extended lifts. And so all of these lifts, if they're a short lift, you've got 7 seconds to get up and get down. If it's a combination lift, you've got 12. And if you go just a fraction over that, you're going to see that deduction.
Personal best is in the 133 range, so they're not going to approach that 124.91. That is going to be more than enough, though. They had a lead of more than 7 points after the rhythm dance. They're still waiting. Now it's official. 211.72. Sinitzina, Kacalapov win again at Grand Prix Russia.